Okay, so the next talk is not in your program. We kept it on the hush-hush. We didn't want the crowds breaking down the door. So Sue is actually going to be talking about some work that, well, I guess you'll talk about. Eileen Jeffries is leading this on Harbour Porpoise project.
Porpoise project, it's hard to say. Yes, originally Eileen Jeffries, who's the principal investigator for this project, was going to come, but she couldn't at the last minute. So she asked me to come and give a short presentation. I was the field assistant for several years, a little while back. Anyway, the Harbour Porpoise project, it's sponsored by the Pacific Biodiversity Institute, which is based in Washington State. Most of our long-term data has actually been acquired down the road in Anacortes. There's a channel between Anacortes and Burroughs Island. I hope I'm pushing the right button, yes. Pacific Biodiversity Institute is dedicated to using the best available science to enhance natural resource planning and management decisions. We're focused on the conservation of biodiversity and maintenance of ecological integrity. The project goals for the Harbour Porpoise project have been to demonstrate the use of acoustic monitors in relationship to finding the presence of the Harbour porpoise. We wanted to compare acoustic recordings to land-based observation, determine habitat use and needs of the Harbour porpoise, help to establish protected areas, hopefully, and to look at population trends, increasing or decreasing. Our acoustic monitor locations have been spread out a bit in the Salish Sea. Our most long-term one, as I mentioned, was in Burroughs Pass, is in Burroughs Pass. This is 2014, it's still there. We deployed another monitor off of Cypress Island in Rosario Strait. There's one at Port Townsend, Admiralty Inlet, Hood Canal near Haynesville, and up in Saturna Island in BC. The data I will be talking about now is the data we've had from Burroughs Pass. It's our long-term site. Okay. We've been looking at the Harbour porpoise presence from two completely independent metrics, which makes it really kind of interesting. But these both metrics are giving similar patterns. Metrics are looking at data from acoustic monitors and from land-based observations. Each is really a robust metric, and each has actually confirmed each other, which is kind of neat. This representation of our seasonal presence in Burroughs Pass, land-based observations, 2011, 2013, looking at fraction of time present, averaged by month, January to December. It's kind of interesting. Now, these are the acoustical recording data, seasonal presence in Burroughs Pass. And kind of think back to the last slide, there's some good similarities there. Oops, what's happening? Oops. There, okay. The Harbour porpoise presence for the two metrics with acoustic monitoring is measured by the duration of click trains that the porpoise produce each minute. The monitor is submerged 24/7. Usually for about 2 to 3 months. Of course, it has to be serviced, batteries changed, taken out and refreshed, but it's recording data 24/7. Then we have our land-based observations where there is a count of a number of porpoise present in a sequence of 10-minute intervals, usually over a 2-hour period. And that involves an observer sitting up on the cliff looking at a visual grid system and recording presence. What we're finding, that's really kind of interesting, is the slope from each of these metrics of porpoise presence is actually negative. And this has been true for the months in which data has been collected from 2012 to 2015. And it's true for both independent metrics, so we're feeling pretty confident about it. It does appear that the presence of porpoise in Burroughs Pass is decreasing. This is looking at a wider scale. 2012, 2015, trend of porpoise presence at Burroughs Pass with the acoustic monitoring. It's a yearly trend by month, and it's not just a yearly trend, like you have a bunch part of the year, not of the other. Each month has shown a decline, so we're seeing an overall negative trend. Land-based observations, different metric, seeing basically the same trend. So, just for summary and conclusion, the presence of the harbor porpoise is decreasing at Burroughs Pass. The metrics are able to show a trend over a period of 4 years. Since the harbor porpoise is a sentinel species of the Salish Sea, and Burroughs Pass has really traditionally been a stronghold for the harbor porpoise, and the declining of its presence may be a reason for concern. And we're going to continue to be concerned, monitor, and hopefully have more information down the road. Thank you. I could entertain some questions, but
Okay.
Aileen's our pro, and I could give you her contact information.
Okay, if anyone has a question for Sue?
Lots of theories. That's the fun part, you know. Oh, the question was, do we have any theories of why the porpoise population or presence is decreasing? At this point, I would, lots of theories that we could all brainstorm on. That's for the future for us to all look at.